Hello and welcome to the Pedders Suspension and Breaks Outer East Football Netball Show brought to you by Gameface. I'm Adam Miller and once again alongside me in the studio with Steph Barkis and Adam Brogdon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Excited to be here again.
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon to the both of you.
Looking forward to another good show. Steph, what episode is this? We're getting very close to the end of the season now. 17, there we go.
Oh, it's crazy. I can't believe it. We are literally weeks away from finals at this point, and it's exciting. It's also slightly terrifying how fast this year's gone.
Coming up in this episode, we'll bring you all the latest news from across our competition.
We have an interview with Chloe Stokes and Kiara-Shae Ryan-Bader from Wandin.
Soph Hennesey, A-grade player from Olinda, Ferny Creek.
We had a chat to Scarlett Henderson after a record-breaking goal haul, having kicked the most goals of any OEFN female player.
Aaron Mullett reflects on his year after kicking goal 100 this season on the weekend.
Amazing. And we, of course, will review last week's match of the round results, plus give you a match of the round preview for this week, which is Belgrade versus Powtown.
And, of course, a huge thanks to Pedders Suspension Breaks, our partner for the Outer East Football Netball Show for season 2025.
All right, well, let's start off by talking match results from the weekend. Firstly, I just want to acknowledge it was the split round for Premier Division, so some clubs won't be playing their technically round 14 matches until this weekend. But, look, we have to start off with this. I know it's everywhere. I know that people might even be getting a bit sick of it by now, but wow, Aaron Mullett, 100 goals on the weekend. Thoughts and feelings getting to be there for that moment?
Yeah, I think we figured after the round 11 game that was probably going to be the case, barring if he maybe missed a game in between, that game between Warrior. But incredible moment. Probably actually good for Wanda that he got it fairly early in the game because I think there was probably a little bit too much focus to get the ball to him. Caden Black actually kicked a goal and got booed by all the reserves players behind the goals down the far end of the ground there. So I think, very good that he got the goal and, it was an incredible moment to be there for. Very, very happy that we got to see it live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really strange, like the air around in the first quarter that everyone was sort of hyping up to this massive moment. And very well deserved, had an incredible season. And really good on him. Got to celebrate it with his family, which people might have seen. And it was really good to see. So just really well done, Aaron.
Yeah, well done, Aaron. It's awesome. All right, well, something else that we got to see on the day was, of course, Wandin women's absolutely bringing it to the undefeated Warburton Wesburn on the weekend. So they did lose to Warburton Wesburn, who are undefeated and on top of the ladder. However, it's the smallest margin that we've seen, and they did stick with them for three quarters. And I guess, guys, it's a potential grand final matchup for later this year.
Yeah, I'd say it probably will be the grand final matchup. Yay have actually really come to form in the women's football as well in Division 2, so maybe they might be able to give something a bit of a shaker. But I think at this stage it looks like it probably will be Warburton Wesburn and Wandin. We did rock up to Wandin North Recreation Reserve and they were ahead at quarter time. Warburton Wesburn hadn't even scored. We thought maybe there might be an upset brewing here, but I think Warby just did what good sides need to do. They found a way. They got over the line. A little bit inaccurate in front of goal. They probably maybe could have won by a little bit more Warby Wesburn in the end, but no, it was a good outing by Wanda. We spoke, of course, with Chloe Stokes and Kiara-Shae Ryan-Bader after the game, and they did say that does give them a bit of belief. They maybe have a bit of a blueprint on what they need to do, but obviously they're going to have to wait until finals time before they get another crack at them.
Yeah, well, I want to acknowledge as well, so 23 points was the margin on the weekend. When they played them earlier in the year, they'd lost by 56, so that's quite an improvement. So who knows what could happen if they come up against them again. Now, this one I thought was really interesting as well. The rivalry between Belgrade and Yay in the senior men's footy continues. Belgrade won by 5 points. Obviously, when we commentated match of the round, it was 1 point.
Yep.
So another close one between these two. Modern day rivalry definitely building, would you say?
Has really built up since, pretty much Yay came back into the competition last year, and the two sides have played off in some really close games. Of course, we go back to last year when they had to play for that final spot, which Belgrade did win, and then the stakes were really quite high early this season because Belgrave hadn't won a game, but they've really turned the form line around. They were 0-4 going into that game, and then from that point on, they've gone 7-2. So they've really and beat Warburton and Belgrave and packing them in all of that. So Belgrave really have found some form at the right time of the year for sure.
So we saw that that rivalry is built since they played each other for that final spot last year, and we saw that when we commentated them earlier in the year. There was a bit of fight, bit of feeling. It was a really good game to watch, and obviously they were winning by a point. That's a massive, really added fuel to the flame. That's a really crazy thing to happen in a rivalry, and now just 5 points this time.
Yep.
Who knows what this rivalry is going to look like next year?
Yeah.
Well, exactly right.
Very exciting. All right, and last one, which I know we had talked about in a couple of episodes previously, but in the A-grade netball, Warrior had a great win over Upwey Tacoma, which pushed them into a top 4 spot. So that's really exciting for those guys.
Well, most certainly, Seth. Of course, they finished 9th last year. They, they had a draw against Emerald about a month ago, and then even defeated Wandin the week after that. So they really have turned things around this season. I think Monbulk do play this week, so they might be able to potentially steal that spot back off of them. But with Olinda Ferny Creek losing on the weekend, they are well and truly clear of them for the moment. So a good chance that Warriors should be able to play finals this season and maybe be able to give it a bit of a shake-up. Who knows? Because as mentioned, a draw against Emerald, a win against Wandin, they've been able to do it against some of the higher echelon teams of the competition.
Absolutely. All right.
Next up in news, our community partners, the North East players, have made the VNL final. So congratulations to both the championship and the 23 and under sides for making it. And of course, we had plenty of OEFN representation in both of those teams, with 5 OEFN players in the champ squad and 4 OEFN players in the 23 and unders.
This week it is TAC Road Safety Round. This year the spotlight is on speed. A leading cause of more than 30% of fatal crashes and 25% of seriously injury crashes in Victoria. Make sure you wear your blue armbands this week in games to demonstrate the commitment to a band together for safer roads in Victoria.
Absolutely. All right, let's go now to our Yarra Valley Water Juniors Corner for an update on our junior competitions. And guys, we had our Under-9s Carnival on Sunday. It was such a great day. So thank you so much to Seville JFC for hosting, and all the parents and guardians for bringing along the players and supporting them from the sidelines. And of course, all our umpires who officiated all those matches. And well done to our players as well. It was honestly a great day out. We got so lucky with the weather. The sun was out. All the games were great. Everyone was such a great sport. And of course, to Yarra Valley Water, who is our official hydration partner of the Outer East Juniors. Thank you so much. They brought along this beautiful little water station that's like a little van, and provided water to keep all the players hydrated across the day. So it was great to have them there. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
All right. Match of the round time, as it always is. First, let's reflect on our tips between Wandin and Olinda Ferny Creek. Adam, you weren't here for last week's show, but we'll give you the benefit of the doubt of who you would have tipped. Did we go Wandin for both?
No, you went Olinda Ferny Creek for
I
the
did
footy.
too, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Steph trying to pull the wool over me again. You couldn't remember. You got it wrong and you couldn't remember. If you got it right, you would have remembered.
No.
Yes.
Okay, so I got 1, you got 2.
Yeah, I got both,
Who would have you tipped?
Probably just would have gone one for both.
Yeah, okay. So
I probably would have been right, but hindsight's a fantastic thing.
Hindsight is 20/20, as they say, Adam. But I back you. I do think you would have gone one for both.
All right, give me a bit of a wrap up of those 2 games.
We'll go with the netball first. Quite a windy day up at Wandin North, to be perfectly fair. If you're watching from home, it was sunny, but boy, it was cold. Olinda Ferny Creek started the game really well. They actually led by 5 goals late in that first quarter, and they were really handling the windy conditions really quite well. Soph Hennesey was fantastic through the mid-court. As mentioned, Eloise Argoon, she's made a move into goals. She was really quite impressive. I think she had roughly about 15 goals, I think, for the game, but particularly early days really seemed to get ahead of Ruby Tidd in that one-on-one matchup that she had on her, which is quite impressive. Of course, Ruby Tidd is one of those Northeast players that we mentioned in the champ side, so she's got plenty of VNL experience, as does Eloise Argoon. She's 23 and unders for the Hawks netball, so, they're 2 of the players who really stood out for me early days. Then Wandin really just kind of took control of the game. They kind of, I think, figured out the conditions and really took it from there. Maddie Warby was fantastic through the mid-court. Amalia Blake just did what she usually does. So she's currently ahead on goals in Premier Division. Perry Reid, though, gets her crack this week, so she's got to get 41 goals, Perry, to claim the lead. Anything less, Amalia will take the lead at the end of round 14 in Premier Division. Ruby Tidd, as mentioned, she did really well after probably quarter time. Kai Kimpton played mainly goal defence. She was also quite impressive for Wandin. So pretty clinical performance in the end by the Dogs, coming away with a 19-goal victory, despite, I thought, Olinda Ferny Creek playing quite strongly and, just weren't able to capitalise on that start at the end for the Bloods. That was probably the difference, really, in the end.
Yeah, nice. All right, Adam, give me a wrap-up of the footy.
Like you said, it was quite windy, it was quite cold, and the leading up to it, the buzz was electric about, obviously, Aaron Mull's Milestone. That was always going to be the focus coming into it. As we said earlier, they were a bit shaky going at the start of the game.
There was a bit too much focus.
There was too much focus trying to get the footy to Aaron, which, I mean, fair enough. I'm not going to blame them at all for that. Mm-hmm. But, so I think it's after they sort of, Aaron Mullett got his 100, everyone had to celebrate, everyone ran onto the field, then quickly ran off the field as we had the rest of the game to play. I think that Wandin sort of shook that out of their system and played a pretty well-made game of football. I think that Olinda Ferny Creek did quite well to came up with them again, almost like the netball, the women's game. It was three quarters. And it was really close to being Olinda Ferny Creek's game. And then in the last quarter, I do not know what was said in the Wandin change room at that 3/4 time. But the boys came out raring and ready to go and just kicked a few goals. I think it was 6 in the last quarter.
5 goals in the last quarter. So they doubled their tally in the last quarter.
In the last quarter, yeah. So it was really well done by the Wandin side. And to be honest, the scores don't really reflect that well on Olinda Ferny Creek for how well they played that day.
No, you're absolutely right, Adam. I think it was a much closer game. I think what Olinda Ferny Creek did really well was they just blocked off the corridor a lot of the game for Wandin, and we know that's what Wandin like to do.
Yes.
Pretty much any kick in, they never ever go wide, particularly on that Wandin ground. It's not particularly wide, so you probably want to play up the middle anyway. So I think Olinda Ferny Creek did that really well. We noticed after the game there was a really long discussion between coach and the players afterwards. I reckon that would have been, we've got a blueprint, we know what we can do, we know how we can nullify this Wandin size impact. But yeah, as mentioned, I think Wandin, like I said with Warburton Wesburn and the women's, they just did what good sides needed to do. They just found a spark in that last quarter. They were able to kick a couple of goals. You know, Aaron sort of stepped up. Paddy Seymour, I thought, did a really good job on him considering. 5 goals, still a really good return for Aaron Mullett, but that's his worst haul this season. Equal with a couple of weeks ago against Monbulk. So I think Paddy Seymour did a really good job on him. The ruck battle between Ben Johnson and Josh Wallace was pretty even as well. Peter Lucas, I thought, was quite impressive through the middle of the ground as well. Noah Dester, I thought, was really good up the ground. Didn't quite impact the scoreboard, but I think there was a lot to like there for Olinda Ferny Creek. And as mentioned, I think they've got a blueprint. I think they know what to do, but it was just the finishing touch in that last quarter that just didn't really happen for them.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a look at this week's match of the round, which is, of course, Belgrave versus Powelltown.
This week is all about finishing strong. In the footy, Belgrave's comeback is alive. From 0-4 at the beginning of the season to possible finals contention after returning to form. But Powelltown won't go down easily. The Demons may be out of the finals race, but they're far from out of the fight. On the netball court, it's 7th versus 8th. We're expecting a close match, and it'll be a toss of the coin as to who comes out on top. These two sides may have had their challenges, but it doesn't mean they're not going to give it their all. Finals dreams, pride, there is a lot to play for. It's the Rochford Match of the Round.
Yes, Steph, we'll take a look at the footy first. Of course, the last time these two sides played was round 6 of this year, and Belgrave won that game 13 goals, 12.90 to 4.13.37, so a 53-point victory. That was after the win against Yea the week before, so this is really when Belgrave started to kind of get things rolling. Coming into it this time around, Belgrave are currently 5th on the ladder, so they've jumped into the top 5 with a 7-6 record. As mentioned, they've gone 7-2 from starting 0-4 this season. Powelltown are currently 8th with a 2-10 record. Some of the key matchups, I think Liam Pemberton with 19 disposals a game, including 4 clearances and 5 tackles, to go head-to-head with Josh Cowan, 25 disposals a game, including 11 contested and 6 inside 50s. Mitch Summers, top 5 for hit-outs and hit-outs to advantage, but he's got a big matchup this week against, I don't even think I need to say his name, or do I? Ben Ratton.
It's Ben Ratton.
He's top for both hit-outs and hit-outs to advantage in Division 1. And let's just also throw in 41 disposals a game, including 26 contested and 16 clearances. The stats are absolutely ridiculous. Yep. They are... Yeah, you almost couldn't believe him if you weren't following Premier Data every single week. Then down both ends of the ground, John Cavara will probably go head-to-head with Dean Roy, Powelltown's leading goal kicker with 15 goals this season. Then I think Daniel Kick of Powelltown will go head-to-head with Nathan Power, who's kicked 30 goals for Belgrave this season.
Nice, okay.
And then taking a look at the netball, again, last time these two sides played was round 6 of this year. Belgrave won that game 66-31. Coming into it this time around, Belgrave are 7th on the ladder with a 3-10 record. Powelltown are currently 8th with a 1-11 record. Some of the key matchups, Kim Harlock-Knight probably goes head-to-head with Matilda Fraser in the mid-court. Playing coach Aaron Mullen probably goes head-to-head with Naomi Hargraves, who's got 213 goals, the most for Belgrave this season. And Bet Gould probably head-to-head with Lane Morrissey, who's got Powelltown's most goals this year with 190.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go to our tips now. Who are you going to go with, Aiden?
Going to go Belgrave for the footy and Belgrave for the netball.
Yep. Adam?
We'll go Belgrave for the footy and Powelltown for the netball.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to agree with Aiden, and I'm going to go Belgrave for both. And we will see you next week.
Yep.
This week's Local Footy Hub match, exclusive to Local Footy Hub, is Monbulk versus Hillsville.
This week's filmed women's match is Olinda Ferny Creek versus Belgrave. I want to pay some special attention to this one because we have something really exciting happening with this game. So it is a standalone game at Olinda Recreation Reserve this weekend. It will be played at 2:20 p.m. and it will feature an all-female umpiring panel. So we are going to be celebrating the contribution and the impact of female players and umpires in our competition. So myself and Stacey will be there, really excited for that one. And we'll be chatting to players, umpires, and just, celebrating the girls. So.
And before we move on, let's take a look at our community predictions for this week. So firstly, the football match of the round between Belgrave and Powelltown.
And the netball match of the round between Belgrave and Powelltown.
And this week's Local Footy Hub match between Hillsville and Monbulk.
And the women's film match between Olinda Ferny Creek and Belgrave.
Since 1950, Pedders have understood that every customer's journey is different, but our solution remains the same, to get you where you want to go as safely as possible. We believe it's not just the destination that matters, but also the journey, and we are committed to creating better journeys for everyone.
Our first interview for this week was with Chloe Stokes and Kiara-Shae Ryan-Bader from Wandin. Joined by Chloe Stokes and Kiara-Shae Ryan-Bader from Wandin's senior women's side after their round 14 clash against Warburton Wesburn and girls. 2 games now against the top of the ladder side. What are some of the learnings you've taken from those 2 games?
I would personally say our connection as a team has definitely grown. Obviously our goal was to say they were tipped to win, and our goal was just to stay in it, keep them accountable, and just really stay connected as a team.
Yeah, I think today as well we played a lot better and physical against them and really showed that we've come a far way since round 3 versus them last. Yeah.
Kiara, your first season with the Dogs in at 2025, what have you liked about playing with Wandin so far?
Mainly the connections. Like, they've welcomed me in with big open arms and I feel really connected with the girls, and it's been a great season so far. And how many times we keep going over each game and going hard. Yeah, we're doing well.
Chloe, you missed the finals last season, but you've jumped well into contention this year, second on the ladder at the moment. What do you think's changed this year that's brought about some good form?
Definitely had some decent recruits.
Yep.
Obviously, we've been around for, I think this is our 4th year together, and the foundations are there, 100%. Yep. We're obviously a well-consolidated team, but got the Ryan-Baders, as you're well aware, the sisters that have come in that have made a humongous difference. I would say definitely the change from the last few seasons is our ability to stay in the game.
Yep.
There were about maybe 6 games last year that we lost by under 10 points just because we switched off for a couple minutes. But we're coming, we're hunting.
Yep. What were some of the tactics spoken about ahead of today's game?
I think it was definitely a man-on-man game.
Yep.
Obviously, when you've got a lot of standout players like Scarlett and Emerson, we're well aware of them. But also not just playing fully defensively, just go in there and just see what happens. Just give it our absolute all and just have a bit of fun about it as well.
Yeah, just not thinking about it too much, just give it our all. And then we got a good result. And we're pretty happy even though we lost.
That's all right. Well, we spoke with Scarlett before as well. One of the things she mentioned was the wind. What were some of the things that you girls spoke about in terms of combating it?
I'd say chip kicks.
Yep.
Obviously, myself included, I have a tendency to absolutely bomb it,
yep.
but we've really tried to make a conscious effort. Kiara's really good at it, just really focusing on keeping the kicks low. And obviously, you've probably noticed that we've tried really hard to bring our overlap running in.
Yep.
I think that's what definitely kept us in the game. We consider that a good loss.
Yeah. No, most certainly. Well, given you only went down by a couple of goals after going down by them a lot last time, what do you think you improved upon this time compared to when you played earlier in the season? Sorry.
I think it was more, we were more physical. We understood what players and our roles, and we stuck with it, and it was really good. We all stayed connected. Yeah.
Does today's performance give you belief that you can get the job done if you do face them in the grand final?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Footy is a wild, wonderful sport, and I think that, they even told us themselves, they actually came up to us, a couple of girls said we might see in the grand final. So the belief is there. All you've got to have is belief in footy, belief in yourself, belief in your team, and look at today, you don't know what the weather's going to do, you don't know what day the other opposition might be having, so I just think 100% we're in it. You just got to stay focused the whole season.
Our next interview for this week was with Soph Hennesey, A-grade player at Olinda Ferny Creek.
I'm joined by Soph Hennesey from Olinda Ferny Creek's A-grade netball side ahead of their very crucial round 14 clash against Wandin. Soph, what are some of the tactics being spoken about ahead of this game?
I think just working together and trying to expose their tactical side. They are a very experienced side. So I think just trying to work together and create something for the next person.
Yep. So if this is your first year with Olinda Ferny Creek after a run with Narre Warren, what made you decide to change clubs for this season?
I love Outer East, so I still wanted to stay in the Outer East, and I am close to home, which is great for where I am with Olinda. I still love Narre. Very sad to have left, but just new opportunities, new people. I think stepping into a coaching kind of role at Olinda was something out of my comfort zone that I wanted to take on board and try and do this year to develop myself, my skills, and connect with other girls. So I think that was one of my biggest things.
Have you enjoyed your time with Olinda Ferny Creek so far?
Yeah, the club's awesome. The culture, everyone really gets around each other. I'm loving it. It's really, really good.
Yep. Couple of games outside of the finals to this point, but still 5 games to go. How much belief is there in the playing group that you can still play finals in 2025?
Yeah, I think you always got to believe.
Yep.
I think one big thing for us is we've really improved as a squad, as a club, and as a netball side since last year. So I think continuing to have belief in the girls. I think as well, we lost a lot of girls to holidays this year. So the versatility within each team, it's exposed a lot of girls to be able to have a lot of opportunities to come up and play and filter through. So I think that's been a huge win for us as a club and a netball side this year. So taking that and into next season with a lot of momentum as well, I think that's a huge win.
Yep. You're also playing with the Burundara Express in the VNL, and you've had a pretty strong season so far. How have you enjoyed your time with Burundara?
Yeah, I think I'm a little fish in a big pond of Burundara. So learning off a lot of the senior girls has been a huge learning experience for me. And picking their brains, I think that's been a really major thing in me stepping up to the plate for Olinda this year.
Yep.
But yeah, Burundara is as well. It's an exceptional club. We've got such good talent, great girls, and the leadership there and the captaincy at Express is second to none. So I'm loving it there.
And of course, the VNL finals are right upon us as well. How are you going to go about balancing your time with the VNL finals and still playing Outer East netball?
Yeah, rest and recovery. Yeah. No, I think it'll be good. Training still, the intensity's there, bringing it in every week. Finals is a different mindset. Anything can happen. So just continuing with the momentum that we've had this season will be our biggest, strongest point.
Yep. Soph, thank you so much for joining us and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Scarlett Henderson from Warburton Wesburn.
I'm joined by Scarlett Henderson from Warburton Wesburn senior women's team after another strong performance, this time over second place. Wandin. Scarlett must be very happy to go at 12-0 for season 2025.
Yes, very, very, very happy. Really good.
Really pushed for a lot of this game. They had the lead at quarter time. They were even level at 3/4 time as well. How were you able to wrestle back the momentum and get the job done in the last quarter?
Well, we really knew that it was always going to be a tough game. They've always been such a good competition. So just really trying to clean our act up with our hands and stuff, and being in front and having to account for the wind was really annoying. But I think we managed to, get used to that wind and be able to make those strong marks and be in front.
Yep. Scarlett, you've just broken the record, or last week you broke the record for the most goals kicked by a senior women's player in the Outer East football netball competition. How do you feel about that?
Pretty happy.
Yep.
Pretty stoked. I didn't really know it was a thing, kind of, but I knew I was getting up there. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised when I saw the post. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, pretty happy.
Yep. Obviously, you were playing with Monbulk last season in that premiership. Couldn't play with them this year because they didn't get a team up. How did you get to Warburton Wesburn, and how have you enjoyed your time with the club so far?
Pui, our coach, he reached out to us, and me and my cousin Ruby, he reached out to us and sent us a really nice message, just not pressuring or anything, just really offering a spot on the team. And then later, Emerson, our captain, she reached out as well. So it was really good to almost feel wanted. They really were nice and they tried. And we went to a training session there and absolutely loved it. Just the girls, even just the style of footy they play and the skills that they portray, and trainings, just the level of intensity was really, really good. Me and Ruby just love our footy. So being able to actually just play the footy, but have a little bit of fun on the side, it's really good balance.
Yep. What were some of the messages coming into today's game?
Well, like I said, we knew they were going to be a really tough side, and we were kind of just saying if we get into the grand final, this is who we might be versing. So trying to like suss that out and like the wind, we had to really account for that. It was pretty difficult out there. But like I said, once we sort of got a feel for the game after that first quarter, we saw what they were doing, their tactics and stuff like that. We were really able to like switch on and kind of, like follow after it and pick ourselves up, clean our game up and really, start to challenge that.
Do you think it was a good thing that they tested you out today just to get a bit of a feeling of how close they could get to you if you do play them in the grand final?
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't here the first time we played them, so to be able to play them today, I was like, didn't know what I was walking into. But yeah, definitely really good to be able to have that almost, I don't want to sound like cocky or anything, but like pre-grand final almost if we get into the grand final. So it was really good to see that test. And even though the wind was bad, it was good having it. So like we were both kind of at a disadvantage and just, being able to see like the raw skill and pick up like what we need to work on. Like we'll go back to training and we'll work really hard on tactics and things like that and really be nice and strong next time we verse them.
Speaking about the win, was there any specific tactics spoken about combating it, particularly when you were kicking against it?
With the goal kicking, pretty much like, the same old aim for the left goal post or aim for the right goal post. So definitely that, or even just, I know at this end of the ground, it was more be in front because the ball's going to drop short. So you had to make sure you were like in front of your player or even just ready to get those crumbs. And then at the other end, when the wind's blowing, it was more of like still be in front, but have that person out the back ready to get those crumbs because the wind was really, really something today.
Well, so it's got a bit of bite. Scarlett, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having
me.
me.
The rest of the season.
Thank you guys.
And lastly, we had our second chat this season with Aaron Mullett, this time after breaking the 100-goal barrier for 2025.
Well, for the second time this season, I'm joined by Aaron Mullett after another stellar performance by Wandin Bulldogs. Aaron, a really tight tussle against Olinda Ferny Creek today, but you got over the line when it mattered.
Look, they're a really good team. And with the conditions too, we knew it was going to be a bit of a contested battle. And they set up defensively really well and used the ball well, so we knew we were up for the fight today. But I think we showed late that that's the type of footy we can play, and at our best, we're a bloody good team. So.
Aaron, let's just go straight to the big bit of news today. You did notch up the 100 goals for season 2025. It's just been an incredible year. Could you ever imagine that you were going to notch up the ton?
Look, never, mate. I played most of my footy at half-back, and coming back to local footy, I played a lot of midfield, and then, that's sort of my last few years went forward, and, I guess this is probably the first time that I've played a full forward role the whole year. So I knew after the first few games when I kicked a few bags, I thought the 100 could be there. So that was the aim, and to get it this early, I never would have imagined it. So I'm really grateful that I got there, and it was a really enjoyable moment.
Yep. Only 2 points separated you and Olinda Ferny Creek at three-quarter time, mate, but you turned it into a 28-point win. What was spoken about at three-quarter time that really revved the boys up and gave you the momentum swing, in the last quarter?
I think there was a lot to learn with that second quarter. I don't think we got that much value from that second quarter with the wind, and we knew if we just changed a few things, the score would come, and as you know, mate, we can score pretty quick, and we did, and we got things right, and it was nice to put a team away like that and just remind the competition that, we're the one to beat.
Yep. A lot of the supporters over our shoulders, mate, have been asking you to talk about the supporters. Just tell us a bit about them, because they did charge onto the ground there and gave you plenty of support.
Mate, today was really special, and to be honest, the lead up all week was really special. I felt the love, and Wandin's a bloody great footy club, and I'm really privileged to play at this footy club, and the boys got around me from day one, and to celebrate this moment with them was very special today.
Yep. Give us a number. How many goals are you going to finish up on 2025?
Well, I reckon I'm going to have a couple of weeks off, mate, because the body needs a rest, and we got more important things, mate, coming up, and I'm going to be aiming to get my body right and get ready for finals. So I reckon I'll have a couple of weeks off, and whatever the rest of the year looks like, it probably won't be playing every game. It'll look a little bit different, but who knows, man? I'm not going to put a number on it.
No, fair enough, mate. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us again, mate.
Really
well done, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Well, that pretty much wraps up all there is to talk about on the Pedders Suspension and Breaks Outer East Football Netball show this week. Remember, if there's anything you'd like to see in the show, make sure you leave a comment down below. Steph, Adam, thank you so much for joining me again in the studio.
No problems at all.
Thank you very much.
For all the viewers out there, don't forget to get your game face on.